What's up, y'all? Karan Elliott, aka Q, starting point guard, class of 2025 at Loyola Blakefield.
All right, here we go. Keep your head. All right, everybody. What's going on, man? It's your boy L64 The Journey. And today, I'm doing a sit-down interview with the one and only Karan Elliott, a.k.a. Q. Sophomore starting point guard at Loyola Blakefield. What's going on, Q?
What's up?
All right. So, today we're going to get into a topic that I wanted to talk to you about. And we're going to be talking about just the differences of going from being a freshman starting point guard to transitioning as a sophomore as a starting point guard. And I just want to know, tell the people, how's it been transitioning from a freshman to a sophomore, number one?
It's tough. I mean, you got that. I mean, the varsity level and JV level is two completely different things. I mean, like, level of physicality, skill, smarts. People just playing at a whole nother level, and like it's like the closest thing to Division I basketball when you're playing at a high level, especially in the MIAA and the BCL.
Okay, cool. Now, when you was a freshman, you kind of was in the lead. You was kind of in the role of being a leader on the team, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, just to give us an insight on how the freshman year went, kind of run through that. So you was on a team with some of your guys that you've been playing with before, right?
Yeah.
So you was familiar with a lot of guys. So tell us about that freshman year for a second.
Yeah. So our freshman year, I mean, we started the year off pretty good, probably about 17, 16 and 0. Then we took our first loss to a team that I haven't beaten yet in my high school career. Out of my 2 years, I've beaten everybody, but haven't beaten them yet.
What team is that?
And get ready.
All right. We're going to come back to Goretti in a little bit, but go ahead. All right.
So, after that, we took another loss. We ended the season probably about 23-2. And then we lost in the playoffs. We lost both in the playoffs. BCL and MIAA. We lost to St. Francis and Spalding.
All right. And if I'm not mistaken, you had a couple big injuries at the end of the year last year in your freshman year, right?
Yeah. Two of our best players had gotten serious injuries, serious ankle injuries, both of them.
Okay, so I'm going to start here. How was it scoring at the JV level? How was it overall? Was it from coming from AAU to playing high school ball? Was there any differences, any major differences scoring on JV level?
I feel like scoring on JV is it was like walking to a different level of, just AAU basketball. So, I'm playing some of the same faces and some of the same people at the same strength level as me and stuff like that. And I feel like it wasn't that much of a difference from playing 8th grade AAU basketball and stuff like that at a high level. So.
Okay. So now, here we are, 2022. You're going into your sophomore season, and you win the starting point guard job, right?
Right.
But now you got upperclassmen. You got, I think, how many seniors y'all got on that team when you went in there?
We only got 2 seniors, but I mean, because it was like about 6, 7 seniors last year. We only got about 2 seniors this year, but we got we got a couple of juniors too. We got several juniors.
All right, so you went in there as a 15-year-old sophomore, right? So you was one of the younger ones on the team, right? And y'all got a young team from what I understand. A bunch of sophomores, a couple juniors, and seniors, as you stated before. But now you go into a role where you got upperclassmen who looked at as the leaders of the team. How was it adapting, with your teammates and different things like that, being in a role where you're not the elder statesman, so to speak, or the upperclassman?
Yeah, so you know, coming on a team where I'm not, you know, one of the oldest players or none of that, because, you know, playing AAU, you always playing, for the most part, your age group, unless you got a couple older kids on your team and stuff like that. So, me knowing that this is a young team, even besides the seniors and the juniors, I knew that I would have to step up and, you know, pick up a leadership role at some point, you know. But I felt like I was already prepared for that because of how I've been playing up all my life. So I know, like, you know, going into this situation that I would have to step up and fill that role.
All right. So were they accepting of you going in, you know, because I know sometimes it's like hazing almost.
Yeah.
Was it a thing where you had to get through that barrier, or how was it?
I mean, of course you got, like, you know, players that been on varsity already for about a year or 2 years or 3 years, however long they've been on varsity. They probably thinking, the upperclassmen was probably thinking like, oh, we got these sophomores coming on the team, they can't take over my team, or maybe it's just, you know, they just don't want, you know, it's just a trust thing where I've been on varsity, I know how this is. They was on JV, they might have killed JV, but this is the varsity level now. So this a whole new start. So it's like they probably was feeling like, oh, until they prove themselves, they can't, you know. But I was already prepared for that. I mean, I've been going through the tough stuff of fights in practice and coaches yelling at me and stuff. I mean, I was already prepared for that.
All right, so you kind of had to earn their trust, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get into the season. How did the season start off this year?
The season actually started off pretty good. I remember we started off, we won our first game, we won our second game, then we jumped straight into action. We had Mount St. Joe and St. Francis in the same week. And, you know, playing two at the time, they were both, I believe, top 40 in the country. Now Mount St. Joe is like 22 in the country. And St. Francis, at the time, everybody on St. Francis' team they had 3 4-stars. So, you know, jumping straight into that as a sophomore, playing against 4-stars who've been on varsity for 1 to 4 years, it's a little bit crazy. I mean, you know, I got some guys on my team, but that's jumping straight into that as a sophomore point guard is a little bit crazy.
Okay, cool. All right, so y'all played Mount St. Joe. How'd you do against Mount St. Joe, by the way, first game?
So, first game against Mount St. Joe, I actually got, after my second game of the year, I got the flu. So, that game, that was like my first, I just came back to practice, and then I wound up being able to play that game, which I was still sick, but like, I wound up being able to play. It was a tough game for me. I mean, it was a tough game for me. I couldn't really breathe as much as I wanted to. It was just, you know, hard. It was hard to breathe. Stamina wasn't where it was supposed to be.
Okay, cool. So what was the results of the game? Were y'all able to compete with them?
Yeah, we actually competed better than a lot of people thought we were. We only lost the game by 5 points, and it was a very winnable game for us.
Okay, so this is what I really want to express to some people. So this is what I'm talking about, from going to freshman to sophomore. Now I know that Mount St. Joe team has a lot of seniors, so most of the game you probably had to guard Ace, which is he's graduating this year, class of 2023, right? Mm-hmm. You got who's the other guy on their team?
Amani Hansberry, Illinois commit. Austin Abrams, he wasn't playing that game, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So how was it the difference in the physical side? Now this is what I'm getting at. You said it, but how did it feel actually playing against those guys? Could you tell the difference?
So the biggest challenge for me in the beginning of the year was, especially because I lost weight, defensively was the challenge. The kids were a lot stronger and quicker and stuff like that. So getting downhill was hard. It was hard to guard some of them bigger and stronger and faster guys. But other than that, you know, I adjusted pretty well. I adapted pretty well.
Okay, so y'all go in there, y'all lose to them by 5. Then you got St. Francis, the Panthers. You know, you play against them. How'd that game go for you?
Yeah, so we played them at St. Francis first game, and you know, coming off a loss to Mount St. Joe by only 5, I was pretty confident, but we went in there and that was a reality check. They got us pretty good. I mean, I had a great game, probably about 16.7 rebounds, 5 assists, a couple steals, but that was a wake up call. Like, oh, we need to get in the gym. Like they beat us by 30.
Okay, so they smacked y'all upside the head.
Yeah.
So, all right, the physical differences, you said you was able to adapt, but you definitely can tell the difference.
Yeah.
All right, so we done went through this whole season. We at the end of the season right now. So let me ask you a question. I want you to tell me about some of these teams. No disrespect to any of the other teams. I want to talk about the talent level because you got some talented kids. First, let's start off with the obvious. You can go either way with this, but let's start with St. Francis.
So,
all right?
St. Francis, I mean, just an overall talented team. Like, 3 Division I players, high major Division I players. I mean, that speaks for itself. That's a resume. They got a 5-star, Tyler Jackson, on his height. They got 2 other 4-stars, John Lamoth and Carlton Carrington. They just overall 3 great scorers and great players.
All right, so let's get into Mount St. Joe. What makes them difficult to play?
What makes them difficult to play is just a disciplined team, and it's hard to beat a team like that with great talent and discipline. So.
And they got good size too,
Yeah.
right? All right. What about Goretti? What is it about Goretti to keep giving y'all fits?
I'm not even sure. I studied that game multiple times, and they just a great team. I mean, defensively, offensively, they play the right way.
Yeah. And they can shoot that ball.
Yeah.
They get y'all out on that 3-point line.
Yeah.
So, all right. Oh, let's talk about Mount Carmel for a minute. What about them?
Mount Carmel, that's another very talented team. They not on the level of the other teams by any means, but they're a very good team too.
But they got some individual talents on the team, right?
Coming into the season, I knew they was going to be a problem too.
Yeah. So, what about Calvert Hall?
So Calvert Hall, they are rivals. Long time rivalry. They got 2 very good players. I mean, they're a good team, well coached, and just they're a pretty good defensive team too. They're a tough team to beat for us this year. It was a tough team to beat for us.
And what about McDonough gave y'all some problems this year too?
Yeah, so McDonough gave us some problems too. They got a couple good players. They older, more experienced team. A couple players that have been on varsity for years now. They got a couple seniors and a couple juniors. They're just an experienced team.
Okay. So anyway, now that we getting through with this sophomore situation and we talking about it, what's some of the things you think hurt y'all as a team this year?
Just definitely defense. We struggled defensively as a team. I feel like we was very inconsistent on offense too. Some games we'll come out and score 70 points, and the next game we'll come out and score 40, 35 points.
Right. A lot of that got to do with chemistry too, y'all coming into the first year.
Yeah.
But next year, man, y'all gonna be a team to mess with. That's how I feel. So, anyway, we're gonna close this interview out. Do you have any personal goals or some things that you need? Matter of fact, before we get into that, what do you need to work on as a player yourself? What's some of the things you want to improve on?
I definitely want to keep, fine-tuning my skill sets and stuff like that. Keep getting smarter, keep watching more film. Definitely improving on my jump shot. Just being more efficient as a player, finishing better, getting stronger, and just continuing to work on my defense.
Yeah, defense now. How you feel about your defense? Because I used to hammer you about that defense. What's the difference? Because I noticed you are taking a little bit of a different approach with defense.
So I think it's more like just a mentality thing, just taking a challenge, being willing to take the challenge. Just when you realize that, the worst thing that can happen is you get dropped or you just get scored on. You start looking at it differently, and maybe I can guard him. It's not that hard.
Okay. And a lot of players, they hide, but in basketball, as you know, it's no hiding, man.
Yeah, when you go up in levels, you can't hide. Everybody good on the floor. So, and I feel like that's what it's becoming. More and more, everybody's good. You can't run from it.
Gotcha. All right, so AAU season getting ready to come up, man. This gonna be an interesting year itself. So, are you prepared for the AAU season? Because that's right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm definitely prepared. I mean, I feel like, you know, the older guys in our conferences, they definitely help prepare me.
Okay. Cool. Well, look, man. Thanks for spending time with us today, letting the people know what's going on, transition from freshman to sophomore year. Just thanks for doing that for us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we signing out this L64 The Journey, and I'm sitting here with Karan Elliott, aka Q, aka Kid named Q. Keep an eye out for Loyola Blakefield. Point guard, you starting point guard, man. We got a lot to build on, all right? Peace, we'll see y'all on the next journey.